Hello everyone, my name is Kinetic and welcome back to Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. I've got a quick update video for you guys. Before we get into the real awesome part of this video, I want to update you on what's going on with my Crusader and give you an idea of where I'm at with my build, with my skills, with my gear and stuff like that. You might notice now in the top right, I'm in Torment 3 now. This is really awesome. I've had a big jump in power and survivability and stuff like that with some new upgrade pieces that I've had, and also some re-rolls on existing gear. For example, the Reaper wraps I've still got, obviously, and I've managed to re-roll critical hit chance increased by 5.5. There's a maximum of 6% that you can get on this, so that's nice. I've also got a really sweet amulet, Countess Julia's Cameo, which I re-rolled and got critical hit damage increased by 79%. I think the max is 80, I want to say. But aside from that, this amulet is amazing. Prevent all arcane damage taken and heal yourself for 22% of the amount prevented. It's amazing, guys. There's a whole series of amulets like this that do the same, I think, for poison, for molten and stuff like that, and they're really great if you can get your hands on one. Speaking of hands, I'm still using the Gladiator gauntlets, and I'm trying to get a better reroll on this instead of whatever it originally was. I think it was life percent or something like that. I'm now trying to get something better for that. Same for my shoulders, instead of reduce all costs, which is totally worthless to me. I want to get something better for that. But aside from the amulet, I've also got this really cool ring here, Kraid's Flame, and I did manage to get a pretty good reroll on this. Critical hit damage increased by 48%. I think it's a maximum of 50, I believe. But check out the secondary. Taking fire damage restores your primary resource. So combine this with Countess Julia's Cameo, and basically any elite pack that comes with Arcane and or Molten is like my favorite group to be hanging around, because like that essentially means I can stand right on top of the arcane beams and be healed constantly. And even if I'm standing on like molten or desecration or something like that, so whatever fire damage, I'm being healed, and that fire damage is also refilling my resource. So I'm watching, like, as no matter what happens, almost like my health and my wrath are constantly refilling. It's amazing. So yeah, I'm now kicking at over 700,000 damage now for my Crusader, and the real reason why I think I'm also in Torment 3 now is because I've managed to pump up my crit hit chance and my crit hit damage finally. It took a long time to get the right gear and the right rerolls. I'm still working on it, like I said, but I'm now at 38%, almost 39% crit hit chance and critical hit damage of 307, which is very nice. Now, my resistances could be better, certainly. When it comes to frost, frozen pulse and stuff like that, those are still really dangerous. And so when I see whatever elite pack has those fixes on them, I'm super careful to try and avoid that as much as possible, because it will tear me to pieces, especially frozen pulse. I don't know what it is about that stupid thing, but it seems to creep up on me a lot. So I try to avoid it as best as I can. Also, because I'm still using the Reaper's wraps, I'm still focusing largely on the physical skills that I can have increase for their damage using that primary. Primary skills deal 20% more damage, which is amazing. So I'm still focusing on skills like that. For example, Falling Sword and Phalanx, but now I'm actually using Bombardment. Thanks to the crit hit chance and the crit hit damage upgrades that I've got, now I feel like the cooldown is worth it. 60 seconds isn't that bad in between elite packs and stuff like that, and because I'm still largely focusing all of my wrath and my efforts and stuff like that with Fist of Heavens, it's totally fine if this is on cooldown now. In fact, I've been messing around with my primary, but that's a different discussion. But about Bombardment, yes, now I feel like with this amount of crit, hit, chance, and damage, now it's worth carrying around Bombardment. And I was using Sweep before, as my right click, for example, sweep attack, which is still really good. But the thing is, combined with that and Fist of the Heavens, my Wrath drains very quickly. And if anything, I really just want my Wrath for Fist of the Heavens. Like, my entire focus, like when I'm out there in combat, is trying to lay out as much Fist of the Heavens and get those to connect with the Fisher Rune as much as humanly possible. That is the bulk of my damage. And so like, everything else to me is like secondary to that, and if it's costing me too much Wrath, then it's gotta go, because Fist of the Heavens needs that Wrath. So you see that Phalanx is just a cooldown, Shield Glare just a cooldown, Bombardment as well, and sometimes I trade even now Falling Sword like for other stuff, but Falling Sword has just a great escape mechanic. And sometimes just for fun, you can, like, you know, go from one level below, jumping up to like someplace higher down below or something. It's just the ability to bounce around stages with Falling Sword really makes this such a great skill to have. And of course, because it's physical, it's really taking great advantage of the Reaper's Wraps that I have equipped. I don't think my passives have changed at all, but there are a couple of things that I have been messing around with. I haven't really touched Heaven's Fury in a while. It's got nothing to do with the nerf to that one rune, because like I said previously, I wasn't even using that. Okay, so I was messing around with Condemn recently because I picked up Blade of Prophecy. First of all, if you don't know what Condemn does, Condemn basically is on a 15-second cooldown, and after 3 seconds, it explodes in a massive amount of damage. Very similar, I think, to the damage of Falling Sword, but without the Wrath cost, which makes this kind of attractive. But I picked up Blade of Prophecy from Kadala, of all people, with Blood Shards. The sad thing is that it's actually quite underperforming compared to the Scourge, who I also got from Kadala, in terms of its stats and stuff like that. But it's actually a really cool sword. Blade of Prophecy means that for every enemy that is condemned, or in other words, gets caught in the initial blast of Condemn, they also explode. So basically you have this huge chain reaction of explosions, your own explosion, and then everybody else that was in that explosion, they also explode as well, which is just, it's insane to watch, and it's really good damage. And I was tossing back and forth for a long time whether I wanted to swap out Scourge or not, but it's such a massive loss of damage, and even if I re-rolled it or something like that, I really don't think that it would perform as well as my Scourge. Scourge, of course, is the sword that bursts with a 35% chance, at least this one does, to explode in demonic fury when attacking. That procs pretty often, in fact, and so combined with how often that, or a comparison to how often that kicks compared to how much damage I think that I can actually do, because it's a weaker sword with Condemn and with the chain explosions, Scourge still comes out on top, I think, unfortunately. I would love to get a really nice Blade of Prophecy that isn't gimped, and then actually, instead of having, for example, Falling Sword, I would love to just run around like chain exploding people with Condemn. But yeah, I gotta get a good Blade of Prophecy for it. And I don't think there was anything else that... oh no, there was actually. In regards to my primary, I've got of course the Defender of Westmarch, with a chance to block summons a charging wolf, or puppy really, that deals 359% weapon damage to all enemies it hits, or all enemies that it passes through, excuse me, which is really cool. And so what I was thinking of doing was swapping out my primary Justice for Punish, which is also physical damage, which of course will benefit from Reaper's Wraps, right? And will give me an increased block chance of 15% for 5 seconds, and that's every time that I hit something, so I can pretty much keep that constant. The downside of that is Punish is a close range. I have to be right in the enemy's face, unlike Justice where I can throw it across the map and hit somebody. Punish, I have to be right there, which is okay decay in itself is actually pretty damn cool. But the thing is that my gear kind of demands from me that that I use Justice, because both my belt and my pants rolled plus 12 damage with Justice. And so even though Punish is cool, and it probably helps out with the little summon puppy that comes out of my Defender of Westmarch, I still am really favoring a ranged attack, and also my gear right now is kind of revolving around extra damage with Justice. So maybe if I re-roll and get a belt that is good for Punish, the same for pants or whatever, then I may swap out, just maybe, just maybe, I might swap out Justice for Punish. I mean, it's a good primary, certainly, and if anything, I think that this is one of the better primaries. I mean, Slash is cool, Smite is pretty cool too, but it has its own weakness, and I think I've talked about that before. But Justice and Punish, I think, are actually really, really good primaries. And so, all I can say, guys, in closing, is that I love the Crusader. I really, really do. It's a really, really good class because it just has so many different things that I'm really interested in trying and messing around with different combinations. Unlike, for example, the Demon Hunter, which I thought initially would be like my main when Diablo 3 came out. It turned out that there were so few skills that I actually like mixing together compared to, for example, Wizard. And so Wizard became like a big deal for me. But the Crusader has come out, and pretty much everything that it offers, it's really, really fun. So continue experimenting, guys, with your Crusaders, because there's a lot of cool stuff that even though you may think you might not be interested in, if you get the right gear, it can actually be amazing. Alright guys, without further ado, here's the ultra rare cow level that I managed to find in one of the rifts that I was doing in Torment 1, using pretty much the exact same build, minus some of the crit hit chance and crit hit damage, but it was good fun, and I'm hoping that I get another chance at this, because it was really, really awesome. Enjoy!
Patience. Power before sucker rooms.
I like to think the world is safer now.
Not ready yet.
to fight some of these.
before Zakarum. My wrath is low.
You have proven yourself worthy of your blood.